Hello and welcome to my painting tutorial of 5 Valentine's Day cards painted in acrylic paint. This is going to be a lot of fun. Today we're starting with the candy hearts at the bottom right. The other 4 will be a lot easier, so don't worry. Be sure to subscribe to my channel for more fun videos and painting tutorials. Here is the list of supplies you'll need. You can press pause to read, and you'll be able to pause many times throughout this video if you need to slow down or catch up at all. This is the sketch. It's available on my website for you to trace, paintingsbydakota.com, and there is the painting we'll be doing. Let's get started. I think we're going to start with the hardest one, which will be this one, and then we'll do the other 4, which will be quite a bit easier. So first I'm going to take my large flat brush that I have here, and we're going to grab some white and some water. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go over the entire page with this. I'm going to let that dry for just a minute. So next I'm going to take my little bit smaller flat brush like this. It's about 1/3 of an inch thick. And we're going to start putting some of the colors into these. So we want to imagine that the candies that are underneath are going to be darker because of shadows, and the ones that are on top are going to be much lighter. So we have to keep that in mind when we're painting. I think I'm going to stick to sort of pastel colors because these Valentine's candies are not very dark colored. They're always really light. So we're going to mix some red and white together first. So go ahead and just fill that in. Don't worry about covering up the words, we're going to go back over them. I find it the easiest to use the same color in all the spots that you're going to do first and then move on to another color. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to find all the spaces that I think should have this light pink color, and I'm going to use those really quick, and then we will move on to a different color. So I'm going to do this one, that same color here. Maybe this one up here, little bottom of it. Let's see, maybe let's do like the corner of this right here. And maybe this one. That one's going to be a shadow, so actually, let's do the side of that one right there. Sorry about that. So this space right here. I'm going to fix that mistake I just made really quick. So I'm going to add just a little bit of darker red. And a tiny bit of purple. And that just makes it into like a darker shade of red. And we're going to paint the front of that heart that's on its side right here. Just like that. So that'll be kind of the shadow of that one. Let's see. We can do the side of this one over here with this darker purple red color. And we can do the sides of this middle heart with it. that's it on those two colors. Oh, you know what? I forgot. Right up here. Sorry, we're gonna do this, the corner of this one that's peeking through. We're just gonna get all the colors blocked in, and then we're gonna move on to detail. So next, let's do this light green, kind of lime green color that we have. I'm gonna add a little bit of white to it, just to, again, soften it up, make it more pastel-y. And we're gonna do this one right here. Oh, that's a little bit bright still. I think that's too bright for Valentine candy. I'm gonna add more white to it. Let's do this, the side of this heart right here. So it's gonna be this little space here. Just like that. Let's do this one. And let's see. Maybe we'll do this down here. That side of that piece. Let's see, we have purple, yellow, orange, pink. Purple, yellow, orange, pink, and green. So we have 5 colors total, so we don't want to do too much. But I think maybe just like this one right here, maybe the side of that one. Okay, so now we're gonna again do it darker for the shadow. So I'm gonna add in some blue to this, and we're gonna add in some dark green, and that'll be kind of the shadow color. Okay, so we got the greens down. Next, let's do yellow. We're gonna grab some yellow and a lot of white. Make a very light yellow, very light, cheerful yellow. So I'm gonna do the top of this one. Since it's kind of turned sideways, the light would be hitting it on the top more than the front. And we're going to add some shadows in there later on, so I know there'd be a shadow about right there. And a little bit on that side too. Okay. And if we're going to make, let's see, what other ones do we want to be yellow? I think, paint my face. Let's do this one over here. The one that says smile. That's a good yellow heart. Let's do the shadow of the yellow. So we're going to add in some brown and a little bit of green, if you believe it or not, and that makes a really good yellow shadow. So let's see, we'll start over here, do that little space there. going to move on to purple. So we're going to start by grabbing some purple, and we're going to again make it really, really light by mixing in a bunch of white, really light pastel purple color. Okay, we're going to start on this big heart right here. So now we're going to do the purple shadow, which is just going to be dark purple without much white in it. And we're going to do some oranges, and then we'll start doing shadowing and highlighting. So we're going to grab a little bit of the light red color that you have and some yellow to make orange. And then we'll add in white to really, really lighten it up. We'll do this one here. Let's do some of the shadows for the orange. So I'm going to take some dark red and just mix it in with that color. And we'll add it into the sides. So that piece right there. Let's add in, we're going to add in some really dark shadows in between these candies where kind of no candies are going to be at. It's like a void in between the candies. So we're going to use purple and black mixed together. It's going to make a pretty dark color. And we're going to just paint in between some of these spaces that we didn't paint with color. Okay, we are ready to move on to the next step. So the only thing that I did was I touched up all of the paint of the same colors that we did before, and I just went over and got rid of most of the brush strokes. So I have more of a solid base to work with. So next we're going to add in some shadows and some highlights to the colors that we did. Oh, I do have to note that I made a change right here because this part didn't make sense. I added in a darker shadow here to the red piece. So this all was yellow before, and it didn't make sense that the side of the red one would be showing right there. So add that in if you'd like. If you don't want to, that's fine too. Okay, so let's again start adding some shadows and highlights. So we're going to start here in this orange area, and what you're going to imagine is the light coming from this direction, and it's going to be casting shadows on the pieces underneath the pieces on top. So that's what we're going to be doing. I'm going to grab some brown and some red and the tiniest bit of black to make kind of a dark reddish color. And I'm going to go ahead and just imagine where this would be making a shadow. Probably going to need to be a little bit darker on that part. Okay, so this pink one would be making a shadow here. So we're gonna just like that. And just follow the contour, the lines of the pink above it. We're gonna follow the shape of the pink piece above it. And kind of just imagine a shadow dropping down right there, just like that. And I'm gonna make this part a little bit darker, where the shadow is, like that. And we're gonna keep just doing that to all the pieces, and then we're gonna add highlights in. I know it kind of looks messy at the moment, but we will add in some more shades and it will make itself, it'll look better in the end. So just trust the process. All right, so let's go into the purple colors. We're gonna do those next. So let's start with the light purple shadows. So we'll start with purple and I don't know if we need to add in any white. Maybe just a little bit of white, not a lot. And we're gonna do some shadows here. So this one would be making a shadow here. It would kind of be at an angle like this. So that's all you need for that little piece there. Just gonna get rid of some of my brush strokes. Okay, and then now over here, this curve would be making a shadow probably about right there. So I'm just gonna go like that. The same kind of medium purple color. So we'll do the yellow next. Okay, so yellow and a little bit of brown. And just a tiny bit of black. So I'm going to grab some green. That's a pretty light color, so we don't need a whole lot of dark. So I'm just going to stick with this kind of medium green color for the shadow. And I'm going to put a little bit right here underneath the tip of that. So this is the more realistic of the cards. This is the hardest one for sure. The other cards will be much easier, but for this one I'm gonna add in some texture detail because these little candies have a lot of little like powder and like crevice, like little concaves in them, like little crevices and stuff, cracks and stuff like that. So if we add that in, it'll make them look a lot more realistic. So I'm gonna start with the green ones, and I'm just making kind of a medium light green color. It's just green and white, and I'm using this flat brush, and I'm just going to go along the edge here and just dab my brush a little bit like that, and it'll give it kind of like that powdery look that these have. We'll start next with the lighter green color up here on top, and for that I'm going to use a little bit more white and some green. But you need it to be lighter than the green we already have, so it needs to be pretty light. And I'm just going to add in a little bit around the edges here and there. I'm not going to do too much in the middle because there's going to be writing there. So just a few dots all over along the edges. So we're going to move on to the yellow pieces, and I'm just going to take white. I don't think I'm going to add any yellow. Maybe I'll add in just a little bit. Just be really careful not to oversaturate it. Just want it to be really, really light. And we're going to do some along the edge of these lighter yellow colors. See another spot I missed a shadow on. Okay, I'm gonna fix that before we go any further. So right here, this one would be casting a shadow there. I don't know how I missed that earlier. I think, oh, I missed another one there too. Okay, we got two we gotta fix really quick. Really quick, guys. I think we're okay now. It's not perfect, but it's close enough. So anyway, let's continue on with the texture. So let's do the darker yellow color. So here, 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 here. And we're gonna do yellow. And it's gonna be a little bit lighter than the color we have here. So let's see, I think this is too dark. Oh, yep, it's definitely darker. So I'm gonna lighten it up. And we're gonna do just, again, some dabs around the edge with this flat brush. Whoops, I got it into the shadow. Don't worry if you mess up like that, you can just cover it up with paint. So let's continue on to the red, the pink pieces. So we're gonna do the lighter pink color first, so those. So we're gonna do some white and barely any red. You want it to be pretty light. So let's see if we, yep, that's okay. It could even be a little bit lighter than that. And again, just dab around the edges. Okay, and now we're going to move on to the dark red. So that same color we were just using, just add in a little bit of dark red to it. And it'll be kind of a light pink color. Medium pink, not light pink, but we're just going to add in some texture, again, around the edges of the heart, like that. Kind of a little bit goes down into the side, so it kind of blends it together. We've got some really nice texture going on now. And you can always go back and clean it up if you do too much, if you do too little, if you mess up on your lines. Just go back and clean it up and it'll be good to go. So let's do the orange ones next. And we are going to just grab some white and a little bit of yellow and barely any red. You don't want much red in there. It's going to be a really, really light peach color. Okay, and let's start with these. Oh, I had too much paint on my brush. So I wipe it off on a towel. Purple. So let's start with the light color first. So we're gonna do a lighter color for the highlight. So lots of white, tiny, tiny, tiny bit of purple. And same flat brush. And we're gonna go around the edges, just like with the other ones. Follow the curve of the edges with your brush, and then start kind of working it into the center, but not all the way, just a little bit. So now we're going to do the really dark purple sections, and with those I'm going to do an even darker purple. So grab the dark purple, and I don't think we need to add anything to it. I think it'll be okay just like that. Depending on how dark your purple is, you might need to add a little bit of black if yours isn't very dark like mine. I think we're pretty good on the texture. That looks very nice. So let's add in just a few finishing little highlights on some of these pieces, and it really will make it look more like candy rather than textured hearts. So I'm going to show you how to do one, and then I'm going to go around and do it and speed it up because it might take a while, but it's really simple. If you Google Valentine's Day candy hearts, there's tons of pictures of these, and you can just zoom in and look at them and kind of study the concaves and the texture and stuff like that. That's all I'm doing. I'm just looking at a picture of them and I'm making my own version of it. So anyway, we're going to grab some white, and I'm not going to add any color to it this time. It's just going to be white. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go around some of these edges and add in little dots where it would have like a lot of light catching. I'll show you how to do it in a second. I'm going to do first so just do it over here. Like you want smooth. I don't like the powder coating from the company, the sugar coating or something, but it really stands out in the pictures. It's a very defined feature of these candies. This is like powder stuff. So I really want to highlight it, show it, because I think people's brains will automatically, oh, that's Valentine's Day candy. One a little bit. A little bit on the one. Do the edge of this right on here, or being on it. A little bit like that right here. A little bit right here. A little on the edge of the screen, please. Alright, that looks pretty good. I don't know why I got the shape of this in and add a little bit of curve. Like that, yeah, that's there. So now I'm going to add in some really kind of not dark, but darker, like little crevices in some of these. I think I'm going to start here on the yellow right here where it kind of bends over, because there would be more of a shadow there than I gave it. So I'm just going to touch that up really quick. It's just like some brown, red. It would be really dark right there. Okay, and then with that same color, we can add in just a few little, like, they're like pock marks kind of in the candy. It just gives it even more detail, makes it look more realistic. Alright, and we are pretty much ready for the lettering now. Woohoo! We did it! So exciting. So from what I'm seeing, there are multiple options and you can add whichever ones you like depending on who you're making this for. I'm going to do the ones that I see here, which are a whole bunch, so you can pick whatever you want. We have Smile, All Mine, Kiss Me, You Shine, Best Day, Marry Me, Forever, Care For You. So I'm just gonna pick the ones that I like, and you can pick the ones that you like and do whichever you want. So for the typical lettering for these, you want to make sure they're all caps. There's no lowercase on these. So, and it's also in red. So we're gonna do a little bit of dark red, and I'm gonna add in a tiny bit of purple to make it a little bit darker. All right, so this is just about done. I'm gonna go back and add some small details because just that's what I do. But I think this is really nice for a card or somebody that you love, or like I said, whatever you want. Don't forget that some of these would be upside down, so you don't have to put wording on every single one. Like I'm gonna leave some of them blank because they would be flipped around. So don't stress yourself out about that. Congratulations on finishing the first Valentine's Day card. I have 4 more coming up and they will be a lot easier than this. Make sure you subscribe to my channel for more tutorials and fun and exciting things. Be sure to check out my other 4 videos for the next Valentine's Day cards in this series, and subscribe to my channel for more awesome videos.